Using the term mother to birthing people.
Black birthing people.
Black birthing people. Black and indigenous birthing people.
Is the administration's official policy to replace the term woman with birthing people?
I was a little taken back when I just read it and saw it, that the term mother was gone in spots and it was replaced with birthing people.
Again, if we're trying to be precise in the language that's used.
Mom's a pretty good word.
Everything that's worth living and dying for is under attack right now.
This environment that has been created and corrupted and manipulated does not respect women, does not respect children, does not respect men. It cares nothing for family. If that is the society that we want to live in, then we need to see how crazy we are. Really. The world is in the condition that it is in because of the disrespect of the woman. There's so much that we place around her because, as we are also taught, that when you teach a man, you are teaching an individual. When you teach a woman, you are teaching a nation. Every prophet came from the womb of a woman. Every intelligent, strong, powerful man and woman came from the womb of a woman. So that's why they have to attack mother and remove father, because before you can get to her, you have to get through him. Every wise nation has security. And the man is supposed to be that security. Can a woman secure too? Of course. Are there female warriors? Absolutely. However, because of her value, because a whole nation comes out of her, so you must be protected. And the man having that essential position by nature. So someone who knows that about you will do their best to make sure you are removed, because there is a standard of conditioning that has to take place. Man, woman, child. If I want to get to that, I have to remove your protector, because he is watching to make sure that everything that goes on in this environment is safe and secure. That's why they have to attack masculinity, because they know, damn, if there's real men around here, we can't really do what we want to do. And if there are real women, we for damn sure can't do what we want to do, because she's going to protect that child, he's going to protect that woman, and they both are going to protect society.
Stop asking the kids, how was school today? And try one of these 5 questions instead. Question number 1 is, what made you smile today? Question number 2 is, who did you sit next to at lunch? Number 3 is, did you see any acts of kindness today? And if so, what were they? Question number 4 is, did you see any acts of people being unkind? And if so, what did that look like? The last one is, what part of the day made you super happy? Was it recess? Was it lunchtime? Was it when you walked into your teacher's classroom and they told you about their weekend? You're going to want to save these for later. Remember, these are conversation starters, so they're meant to have open-ended responses, which leads you to better conversations with your kids.
If you got wavy or curly hair, get this haircut. My client here said his hair is way too long and he wanted something cleaner but still wanted to keep the length. I got the solution, and this cut is called a curly blowout with mid-taper. This style is perfect for curls, as the mid-taper will give your curls a bed to rest on to support the longer length of the top. I style his hair with some curling mousse. This is the before, and bam, this is the after. I got my boy's confidence back to life, so if you're looking for a barber in Melbourne, follow me.
Freeway. So this one is chaparral. Chaparral is good for herpes, cancer, eczema. You know, it's good that even people use when the rattlesnake bites you with the poison thing. So take a chaparral, it's clean the poison from the snake's blood. Powerful herb, good for the kidneys, good for the liver. I know the government says it's not good for your liver, it's going to kill you. But this one is the more older herb in the world. Freeway. So this one is chaparral. Chaparral is good for herpes, cancer, eczema. You know, it's good that even people use when the rattlesnake bites you with the poison thing. So take a chaparral, it's clean the poison from the snake's blood. Powerful herb, good for the kidneys, good for the liver. I know the government says it's not good for your liver, it's going to kill you. But this one is the more older herb in the world.
A Republican politician in Alaska just said that it is better if an abused child dies because it saves the government money. No, I'm not paraphrasing. Listen to what he actually said.
In the case where child abuse is fatal, obviously it's not good for the child, but it's actually a benefit to society because there aren't needed for government services and whatnot over the whole course of that child's life.
Through the chair, can you say that again? Did you say a benefit for society?
Talking dollars. Now you've got a $1.5 million price tag here for victims of fatal child abuse. It gets argued periodically that it's actually a cost savings because that child is not going to need any of those government services that they might otherwise be entitled to receive and need based on growing up in this type of environment.
The GOP was never actually pro-life, and this yet again proves it. This is why I say we have to continue to activate and organize and vote these extremists out permanently.
Third wave are the children, and some of them now are in their teens, but these are the hope of the world. They're the gift of the world. They're here to really make a difference. And I've spoken at conferences about the new children where they're trying to educate the educators, and they have panels of these kids. And they're always saying, well, they're disruptive in the classrooms, that's why they have to put them on the medication. And they've said at the conferences, the reason they're disruptive is because they're bored. They said they say the teacher would ask them for an answer to a problem, a math problem or something. They tell them the answer. The teacher wants to know, how did you find the answer? And they said, I just know it. And to them, that's not enough. They want them to explain how they came by it. So that's very aggravating to one of these children. And another thing, they said they go over and over and over again the same material when I got it the first time. So they're bored. So what I was told to tell people, the teachers and the parents, is to give these kids challenges. That's how they should be treated. And they have a different way of thinking because they do grasp everything so quickly. So many wonderful things are happening. So these new children have a part in it. And the first and second waves have a part, but they've had difficulty.
All right, y'all, I'm gonna teach y'all something, okay? Hey, bamboo trees, they all start reacting when I start coming. I love you, bamboo. So we circulate money, we do not spend money. Let me say that again for the people in the back. We circulate money, we do not spend it. When we circulate money, it comes right back to us. We circulate it to the next person who needs to temporarily hold on to it. Then they circulate it to the next person who needs to temporarily hold on to it. And then it comes right back to us. Money is nothing but a frequency. The more you're connected with a frequency, the more you'll see it frequently. You have to reprogram that subconscious mind. See, scarcity programming, bummer. Survival programming, bummer. You know we are around here, we're thrivers, baby. We buzzing like a bee in the hive. We out here thriving, baby. So we just keep on thriving, we just keep on moving. We pull out money from the Bank of Infinite. What are you talking about, India? There's no Bank of Infinite. Sheesh, that's the only bank I bank with. Infinite as fuck around here. All about the Benji.
Everything's about to change. On March 23rd, Pluto enters Aquarius. And this doesn't happen every day. Pluto is a generational planet. It takes 248 years for it to orbit the sun, and it can stay in a zodiac sign between 12 and 30 years. In a way, you can track the generation you belong to by the sign it's in. And it has been in Capricorn since 2008. Pluto is death and rebirth and transformation. It reveals the shadow in whatever it touches. As we have seen in Capricorn, it revealed the shadow of our systems, financial and otherwise, starting at that exact moment with the 2008 financial collapse when it first entered Capricorn, and has spent the last 16 years basically annihilating all of our hierarchical structures. The old way, an old paradigm. The fact that it's moving into Aquarius is just this very rare event. Aquarius is all about consciousness, and it's steeped in revolutionary energy. And we're going to see a transformation of our consciousness. So Pluto will be in Aquarius until June 11th, and then it's going to retrograde retrograde back over the year and eventually land in Aquarius in 2024, and it will stay for 2 decades. But these few months, it's a very potent time where you're going to get a taste of the flavor of what it means to have Pluto in Aquarius. It's a moment of this massive surge forward. It's been building. The old hierarchical structures can't stand anymore. The old ways are dying, and this is the shift. It's a whole new beginning.
When this program comes out, it's going to make the impossible possible for home buyers who want to buy in California. As you know, homes in California are way too expensive, so it's hard for buyers to save a big down payment and afford the monthly mortgage payment. On March 27th, Cal HFA is releasing a program called the Dream for All program, which is a shared equity program which allows buyers to receive 20% down to buy their home. So this is how the program works. Let's say you're buying a home for $500,000. They're gonna let you borrow $100,000, which is 20% down. You're gonna pay no interest on that 20% down. But when you sell the house, they're gonna take 20% of the equity. So if you bought a home for $500,000 and a couple years later you sell it for $640,000, they're going to take 20% of the $140,000, which is about $28,000. Yes, it sounds crazy. You don't want to share equity, but for most people who live in California, this is the only opportunity they're going to have to buy a home. Here's how you qualify. Number one, you have to be a first-time home buyer. That means you can't own a home in the past 3 years. Number two, you have to be below the income limits depending on the county you're in. Here are the credit requirements and the DTI requirements. And last but not least, you do have to take a home buyer class, which is $99 you can take online. So on March 27th,
government worker here. TikTok ban. Let's talk about it. My literal job is to manage government money. So I know it pretty well. And I know the government pretty well because I've worked for almost 20 years. This TikTok ban has absolutely nothing to do with national security. We all know this. This TikTok ban has nothing to do with censorship. We should know this. The TikTok ban has everything to do with money. And we owe the Chinese government so much money. Y'all, catching what I'm throwing? TikTok is owned by Chinese citizens. TikTok is a massive financial infrastructure. TikTok produces a massive financial revenue into this country. The American government needs money. The American government does one thing really well when it wants to tap into a financial infrastructure. It bullies it. It threatens it. The American government has a massive financial debt to the Chinese government. We need to chill out. We really need to chill out. They're going to make a deal. It's going to wipe out some of our debt to the Chinese government. And this is all going to go away. And we're going to be making, great TikTok content for the indefinite future. Because the government knows what would happen if it banned it. It's not going to happen. Happy Friday, y'all. Bye.
In the case where child abuse is fatal, obviously it's not good for the child, but it's actually a benefit to society.
Through the chair, can you say that again? Did you say a benefit for society?
Talking dollars. Now you've got a $1.5 million price tag here for victims of fatal child abuse. It gets argued periodically that it's actually a cost savings because that child is not going to need any of those government services that they might otherwise, be entitled to receive and need based on, growing up in this type of environment.
Through the chair, Representative, I guess that would be the idea, if I can use a really bad analogy, when you hit somebody, always back up because it's cheaper to insurance. I don't pertain to that, and I'm really, I'm not even sure how to answer that there's a cost saving to the death of a child. The impact that has on a family and us as a society when a child is lost, especially to child abuse and neglect, is unmeasurable. And it's It's hugely tragic.
Yeah, follow
up.
And the way that you're calculating this 1.5 million, and when I say you, I mean the people who did calculate it, does that 1.5 million get higher or lower depending upon the age at which the child is killed?
So again, there's multiple factors, and a number can definitely increase, but again, I don't believe it's going to matter if they're older or younger. Again, a loss of a child is really unmeasurable.
There's been about 100 billion people who have ever lived.
Wow, really?
Yes. Do you know how many people can exist? You take a look at the genes, find out how many combinations of genes can make an authentic human being. And it is stupendously larger number than the 100 billion. What it means is you are alive against stupendous odds. You are breathing air, observing sunsets, gazing into the night sky. Most people who could exist will never experience that.
Wow. It's the gift. Because most people that could exist mathematically
will never exist.
Wow. So right there you are
you are as special a living entity as there ever was.
I'm going under, and this time I fear there's no one to turn to. This all and nothing way of loving, go be sleeping without you. Now I need somebody to know, somebody to hear, somebody to have, just to know how it feels. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you help me escape. Now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and then you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved, and I tend to close my eyes when it hurts. Sometimes I fall in.
The fungus from The Last of Us that infects people's minds and makes them into zombies isn't real, right? Right? This is cordyceps, an entopathogenic fungus that'll hijack an ant's brain, effectively turning it into a zombie. The zombified ant now has a mission: to infect the rest of the colony. The fungus will force the ant to climb up above the anthill onto a tree or a plant where it'll bite down on a leaf, effectively dying there. But before that happens, the fungus will mummify the ant, and then a mushroom will pop out of the ant's head, sporulating the rest of the colony. But it only affects ants, right? Wrong. There are over 600 species of cordyceps that affect all kinds of insects. You're not safe just because you're not an ant. But we're mammals, we don't have to worry, right? Well, this is toxoplasmosis, a parasite that infects rats and makes them attracted to cats. Why? Because the toxo can only reproduce in cats. Nature is beautiful, but it also be giving me nightmares.
University, I won $1.3 million in scholarships.
1.3 million?
Yes.
Really? I'm fascinated.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a lottery win.
Yes.
How did you get that?
It took me a while. It took about 7 months beginning my junior year to really find all these different scholarships. I scoured the web. I got multiple full ride scholarships. I got the Coca-Cola
What was the biggest
scholarship.
one?
The Bill Gates scholarship.
How much? Wow.
It's a full ride to any college you want to go to.
Tell me more about your drive to get the scholarships.
I had a single mom, low income, 2 siblings, and I had to work really hard. I had great GPA, I had good test scores. I actually could not apply to some of the schools I wanted to go to because of the application fees.
I think we can all relate to that story.
Right.
I'm the first person in my entire family ever to go to college. I get the value.
What you just did was amazing. So, do you think like you can get me 1.3 million for educating these bobos up here for the last 5 years?
So actually with Scholarly, every student that uses the app is matched between 120 and 220 scholarships, totaling over $4 million. So it's giving them access to win all that money.
So in other words, you found the ones that are institutional neutral. They don't care where you go.
Yes, Scholarly focuses on outside scholarships. We're not focused on institutional scholarships. So Damon, your question is, there are about $100 million that goes unclaimed in outside scholarships, mainly because students don't know they exist.
Okay, Christopher, how do I make money with this?
So Scholarly is 99 cents in the App Store. We already sold 92,000 apps.
What? How many?
92,000 paid apps, less than a year. And all with zero marketing. So it's really cool. We had a very effective PR strategy going forward. So I used the fact that I won $1.3 million in scholarships and pitched reporters to the fact that I created this app for other people.
Do you want to know something, Christopher?
Great.
I'm going to do something I've never done before. I haven't heard a whole lot, but I'm going to make you an offer right now.
Awesome.
Let me just ask some real questions, okay?
My offer right now is the 40K for 15%. I believe in you. I believe in what you're doing is good. I think that we will make it together, so I hope you just say yes.
I would love to hear other offers, Lori, and I really appreciate that. Like, that really means a lot to me. Scholarly is very important to me.
I'm offering you exactly what you asked for.
Yes, I would love to.
I'm not even going to ask you, how do we monetize this? But I want you to say yes.
I want to be part of this. It's really a personal matter. I started working at 10 years old, and I was raised by a single mother. When I got to about the age of 17 years old, I wanted to go to college, but I had to work because I saw her working 3 jobs, and there was no food on the table. I resonate with this, so I'll offer you the same thing, the $40,000 for 15%.
Christopher, look at me. I believe in what you're doing. I don't care about how we're going to monetize it. I just want you to take my hand and say, deal, and we will make it work. But I'd like you to do it right now.
Wow, that's pretty aggressive.
If she had the best interest, I think she would let you listen to everybody. Whatever way, I want to be part of this.
I just want to hear what everyone has to say. Like, I love your app, I love the money. Don't get impatient with me. And also,
the key to your site is your ability to update the scholarships. Is there a back-end engine that's taking it all in? How are you doing that?
How many different scholarships did you say were in your database? Between 10 to 20,000.
Oh.
Mike, the co-founder, developed an algorithm where he gathered all the scholars from different
that's what we're trying to get to. Yeah. Look, you have 2 co-founders.
Right.
They're developers. I want to know what their skill set is because...
Me too, because that's what I need to understand is how you're going to constantly do it.
You walked in here with a thought.
This could be a very large business.
David and I both are not even asking you.
Well, let him answer. Let him answer. I want to know what he says to that.
Yeah.
We're saying, you know what? Hang on.
That's exactly what he doesn't want.
Hang on. I'm not minimizing him.
Do you want a charity donation or do you want to build a business? Which is it?
I mean, my goal here, I want someone that really believes in what we're doing. This is that mean.
I told you I did.
I believe in it.
How could you believe in it when you haven't even asked about the entire business and how it works?
Because you know what? We'll figure it out. We'll take affordable next steps forward. We will call the other Roberts and Cubans in the world to give us advice.
I'm willing to do it with Damon. Damon, if you're willing to do it with me,
absolutely will do it.
I think that you should just say right now, do it.
Okay, Lori and I are gonna go in 50-50 partners. That's 20,000 from her, 20,000 from me for 15% of your company.
You have to make a decision now.
I'm gonna take your deal.
Good, done.
Thanks. All right. Thanks.
That's awesome. I'm really glad.
Let's get a group hug.
Group hug.
Thanks so much.
Good, you're amazing.
The Chinese have basically cemented themselves now as a regional power. Just look at the difference of behavior. Look at the difference between China and the United States. When the United States, when Britain, when we go to the Middle East, we steal oil. We take the resources, we plunder the land, we colonize them. You know, the French, the same thing. You know, look at the Chinese. Look at the difference. Look what they have done. You know, the United States has been in the Middle East for 20 years trying to fix the region. You know, white man complex. And what do you have to show for it? Nothing. Zero. Now the Chinese, they come in, supposed Chinese Communist Party, And yet, suddenly, the Chinese Communist Party, who, according to Pompeo, is such a threat, they're able to mediate between a Sunni kingdom, right, and a Shia republic. I mean, they got to be doing something right, okay? They got to be doing something right. And this shouldn't surprise you if you know your history. You know, the Chinese mediation, diplomacy, this is a Chinese trait. This is a Chinese policy, and it goes back millennia. That's the difference. That is the goddamn difference. That is why China is able to get over 100 countries to join the Belt and Road Initiative. That's why China is able to undertake agreements and work out deals with other countries in peace without sending its soldiers there or building a base there. There's mutual respect. You know, you give me this, I give you that. I help you now, you help me down the line. Not, oh, I'm going to send in my warships, I'm going to send in my drones and intimidate you into giving me what I want while I'm pretending to help you at the same time. Big difference. This is so embarrassing for the West. It's so embarrassing. All you hear, you know, you go to these supposedly fancy foreign policy schools where they teach you nothing but, you know, Western superiority complex, and they'll drum into your head like, why is the Middle East in such duress? Right? It can't be because of us. You know, we are only doing peaceful things over there. No, it's not because of us. Oh, I know why. It's because you have these Sunnis who are fighting these Shia, and they just hate each other, and you know, that's the logic, right? People in caves running around killing each other because of their religion. Okay, yeah, sure. So how do you explain this then? The Chinese, on the other hand, they do the opposite. They're like, look, you guys can work together on this. You can, resume these economic agreements that you had, which is part of the agreement. Now, you're going to have people say, well, the Chinese are just doing this because they want oil. They're already buying the oil, man. What are they going to get? A couple of cents off of every barrel? They're already buying the oil. You saw that with the Saudis saying they want to join BRICS, right? Iran saying the same thing, but that was a bit more expected. And you saw the Saudis cutting oil production and then kind of embarrassing Biden with no deal. And now this is really cementing this line of progression in terms of where Saudi Arabia is going to go, because seeing China as the mediator is really just as important as having the deal itself. I think this is a huge win for them on the world stage. Let me show you just over here the reaction from the Pentagon, right? This is John Kirby, so their spokesperson.
I want to begin with the initial reaction here from the administration on China brokering this deal between Iran and Saudi Arabia. Good news, concerning news, or both?
Anything that can bring tensions down in the region is welcome, Chuck. And if this can help us end that war in Yemen, if it can help the Saudi people feel more comfortable that they're not going to be attacked from the Houthi rebels that are supported by Iran, then we welcome that. We think that's good for the region. I think it's important for people to remember that one of the reasons that Iran was willing to sit down at the table was, in fact, the pressure they were feeling internally from their own people and externally from the rest of the world by the way they're supporting Russia and Ukraine.
You have to laugh otherwise these people are gonna make you cry, man.
The most significant news story over the past week has gotten virtually zero coverage, and that is the peace accord between Saudi Arabia and Iran. These two countries are sworn enemies. This is Sunni and Shiite Muslim. They're the two biggest players in the region, and they hate each other. But now they have an agreement for peace. And just as significant as the peace accord itself is who brokered it: China. That's right. China was able to achieve peace in the Middle East. China is seen now on the international stage as the adult in the room. But wait, there's more. The other important part about this is there has been rumors and ongoing conversations from Saudi Arabia about settling their oil trades in the yuan, China's currency, replacing the dollar. So the dollar's global reserve currency status would be thrown in serious question if the Saudis began transacting their settlements in yuan. On top of that, there are other rumors about Saudi Arabia and Iran joining the BRICS nation alliance, which is Brazil, Russia, India, and China, okay? If Saudi Arabia and Iran were to join the BRICS alliance, that would mean all of the major oil-producing countries in the world would be part of that alliance. They would also have about half of the global population. There isn't much need for the US in that system. There is a new table being built before our eyes, and the United States does not have a seat at it.
Understand that you have a brain. The back part of it is where you learn. The front part is where you do. Knowledge, performance, knowing, doing. And ADHD splits them apart. I don't care what you know, you won't use it. You can be the brightest kid in the world, not going to matter. So you got a real problem on your hands because you can know stuff and you won't do stuff. That's a serious problem called a performance disorder. So what we know about ADHD is it's going to put all 5 of those levels at risk because it interferes with all 7 executive functions, and you're going to have time blindness, and you won't be able to aim your behavior toward the future, to care for yourself as effectively as other people are able to do. You have intention deficit disorder. You have a disorder of performance, not knowledge. You know what to do, but can't do it. You have a disorder of the when and the where, not the what and the how. Your problem is not with knowing what to do. It's with doing what you know.
Can you be in a relationship with an alpha male?
Yes. I'm very
Can
submissive.
you be submissive?
I'm very submissive. All women can be submissive. It's a choice. I may have a strong personality. That's because I had to do that to survive. I was a single woman with children. I'm not gonna let nobody come in here and play with me. But if I have a guy that's not coming to play, I don't want your position. I already know what it takes. Listen, you can wear your briefs. I like my panties.
Mr. Beast, much like Jesus, is now curing the blind, okay? Let's see.
They can't see, but we have all the technology to fix it.
Yep, half of all the blindness in the world is people who need a 10-minute surgery.
Crazy.
Yeah.
10 minutes. It's crazy how easy that is.
I watched the video and I'm filled with rage that we shut off access to a 10-minute procedure because we decided that like some people just simply can't get it. It is so insanely frustrating that it's up to like one YouTube guy to like decide to make content out of it. That people who are too poor can't just fucking see. I'm mad at the system. I agree with Mr. Beast. He said, I don't understand why curable blindness is a thing. Why don't government step in and help? Even if you're thinking purely from a financial standpoint, it's hard to see how they don't ROI on taxes from people being able to work again, which is literally the reason why capitalist social democracies have healthcare, because it improves the labor force. So it doesn't even make sense from a capitalist perspective unless you literally are just like, I want to extract profit from every facet of society, including the health of my own people. We live in the richest country in the world. So why aren't we able to care for our people? Why does someone have to be lucky enough to get picked by a content creator to pay for surgery for their blindness?